Hey guys, it's Otti again. I'm sitting here at the Jera On Air festival, besides being Spike from the Me First at the GIMME GIMMES.
Correct. Hello. Hi.
I got the name right.
Yes, that's
like
right.
Tongue breaker. Is it tongue breaker in English? I don't know. Zungenbreaker, we say. Difficult words.
Yeah.
Tongue breaker.
Every Dutch word is very difficult for me, so I thank you for indulging me in speaking English.
Yeah, sure. But I'm from Germany, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
No, so
okay.
I have to leave.
Okay. No, that's all right. It's my German is schlecht too, so.
But at least we know schlecht, we know other words like scheiße.
Scheiße. What else? Schwieriges Publikum.
Ui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a few words. It was the dative case that stopped me dead in my tracks, so since then I have not. I gave up. I surrender.
The same for me with French, for example. I learned in school, but when the times came and stuff, it was like, okay, no.
Yeah, no.
Go away.
No. Conjugate was the declination, the German terrible. I think it comes from Latin.
Yeah, but I think it's at least as you can communicate with the audience a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
I hope to. Well, maybe not a Dutch audience. I don't think they would appreciate that very much. Or to communicate with them in German.
There's some Germans here because we are right to the border.
Oh, near like Duisburg and yeah.
I'm from Duisburg, for example.
Oh, okay. And Dortmund and Cologne. Yes. I know where I am now.
Cool, yeah. And
thank you for giving me my bearings.
The funny thing is we didn't prepare anything besides this one. We'll come to this. Because I was told, okay, do this and then that.
But I did prepare some answers for that as well.
That's cool. But we have decided to talk something, so maybe you can at least say what is Me First and the GIMME GIMMES. I know, but maybe some people kicking in have no total idea.
We are a cover band. We play weddings, communions, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, funerals, estate sales. So give us a call. If you're in need and you have the money, maybe we can play your event. Okay,
so maybe at my 50th birthday, I'll call you.
Yeah,
you play.
Please do.
But you have to tell me what I have to pay before.
Okay.
Or I have to get rich and it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, we're all gonna get rich anyway, man. It's
You have a new album out, it's like what was it, Madison's?
Quinceañera. It's a 15th Geburtstags. The 15th birthday party for people generally of Mexican descent or in Mexico and Central America. I think even in South America. It's a special occasion, not only for the guest of honor, but also for everybody in the family. And there's a special ceremony where dad sort of acknowledges that his little girl has become a woman. It's very emotional. There's even a song called The Last Doll, La Última Muñeca, that dad goes out and buys her a doll. And when he comes home and sees that she has makeup on, that she's growing, he keeps the doll. He doesn't even give it to her. And in fact, on that live record, we learned to play the song La Última Muñeca because we didn't want to make the whole thing into a joke, because it actually was a very important event to Madison and to her family. So, you know.
But how did this come up? Was she a fan of yours, Madison?
No, there were no fans
okay.
in attendance that day, and you could tell. Occasionally there was polite applause, but for the most part it was dead silent until towards the end. The dance floor filled up a little bit. We played an Olivia Rodrigo song, which you'll hear on the record if you buy it. And that got some of the younger people a little more interested in dancing. But prior to that, there were points in the evening where they were actually leaving. So, but ultimately, considering the way we wanted the live record to be, that was a success. Even if it didn't feel like it in real time.
This brought us to doing something like top lists. And one of the top lists I was asking for, if to look up, was, depending on Madison's, on the record, what have been the 5 weirdest shows you have ever played?
So, That's going to have to be Madison's Quinceañera would be number one of the weirdest shows that we've ever played, but it was also very positive. To me, a weird show is a positive show, generally speaking. Number two would have to be Johnny's Bar Mitzvah, where we also recorded a live record, and you could hear it's pretty excruciating, that record as well. Very awkward, at times tragic, at times comical. You know what I mean? Hopefully. And then third would have to be, we were invited, strangely, sadly, to play fireworks night at Pirates, at the stadium, the baseball stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the team being the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Atlanta Braves, which was very rare because by that time the Pittsburgh Pirates were a terrible team. And then they wheeled us out to second base, They wheeled us out to second base, a stage, and set fireworks off on the field, and there were barges on the rivers and off of skyscrapers. It's a really big night. So it was a big honor for us to be able to play this festival, but we hadn't practiced in about a year. And they chose the songs for us. So they chose, strangely enough, one of the fight songs for a rival baseball team. And that was when the booing started in a corner of the stadium. Just, kind of faintly at first, but then it grew and it grew and it grew. And you got to also imagine, this is my hometown. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it was not always easy, you know what I mean? Some people had it harder than I did, certainly. But it definitely sent those old feelings flooding back. By the time, I think there were about 30,000 people booing us, loudly booing us. But luckily, we were at second base, so we were out of projectile range, so nobody could throw batteries or, And that was very strange. And then we were wheeled back off of the field, and we went down into the bowels of the stadium, and the people that worked at the stadium and worked for the Pirates said, you might want to give it 1 or 2 hours before you go back out into the public, because they couldn't be held responsible, for what would happen to us. Pittsburgh's a tough town. But that was very strange. And then let me see, I think I had it written down somewhere else. Bunbury, Australia, which is sort of like a suburb of Perth. And I don't know if you know what a bogan is. No. It's a redneck. But it's a special redneck, because Australian rednecks are special. Mm-hmm. They're like bad guys from a Western or something like that. And they were literally raining from the sky. I don't know how they got up there, but it felt as though as we were singing, it was... I felt like Sweet Pea in a Popeye cartoon. Everything's falling all around you, but nothing hits you. And it was literally raining giant bogans, which are like villains from a Western. They're like, I mean, everybody that went there in the first place, it's either prisoners or prison guards. You know what I mean? So it's a strange place. And we're going back. God help us.
But you survived, so...
Yes, and I will survive. Yes, I will. I'm manifesting every time I sing that song.
This is a great version of yours.
Thank you. Yeah, Thank you very much.
I love things like this, like pop songs or rock songs, and the punk man, because I'm from the punk scene as well. Mm-hmm. This is always like more forward, more energy in this.
Yes, I think the essential chemistry to why, especially our first couple of records were popular, were as popular as they were, is because we were taking songs that I myself did not particularly like and tried to bring them into an idiom that I could identify with more easily. And so, but we had to drag them kicking and screaming, so to speak, and then we would get feedback in correspondence, like mail from people who would say, I was listening to the song in my room, and then my parents came in and said, I know that song, and they're like, hey, this is groovy. And some of the kids hated that, but some of the kids liked it. It was a strange sort of family bonding experience to listen to our weird band.
I think I, for example, played in a punk band when I was young. We didn't do much covers, but we covered, for example, Deutscher Schlager. You know Deutscher Schlager? German.
Oh yes, of course. We are American Schlager. If you look at our outfits and our whole presentation, we like to think of ourselves as American Schlager.
Yeah,
yes, of course. I know Heino. Heino was sort of a proponent of Schlager culture. One of my favorite songs of his. Do you know Capri Fischer?
Yeah, yes.
Wie die rote Sonne im Meer versenkt.
Yeah.
And then there's the echte Heino. Have you heard of the echte Heino from Planeten?
Friend from Toten Hosen.
Yeah.
Totally, yes, I know it. I not personally.
The echte Scorpions. I always thought that was a great movement. Very funny.
Totally.
Berlin people have a very good, but a dark sense of humor.
Yeah,
I appreciate that about them.
But this brings me to another question I've written down and we talk about. I don't know how many you have, but the most coverable songs that you the most uncoverable songs that you would cover anyways.
Okay, I made a list on my phone. Schmerzen hören by Einstürzende Neubauten. I'm lying if I said that we would cover it, but it is uncoverable. And O Vienna by Ultravox.
Great song.
Yeah, absolutely. Or Rock or any one of those. Like Rock is actually pretty coverable, I would say. And what's the other one? There's Rock. There's another kind of hard rock, really good Ultravox song that I'm not thinking of right now. Nick the Stripper by The Birthday Party. I don't know how anybody would cover any birthday party song for that matter, but I do love The Birthday Party. Every time you listen to a record, and see, this is what records missed towards the end. It's why they made it so easy for Napster and iTunes and now Spotify to rip musicians off, is that the musician's model was to put, 2 or 3 good songs, some singles on the record, and then just throw, 10 more songs as filler, and we're all good. But if you listen to a birthday party record, even if you don't like every song, it's taking you to this weird, fucked up, hard drug addled world that, you're in a separate world until you take the needle off. And that's what a record is supposed to be. And I think people forgot that, and that's what made it so easy to let the tech giants come in and take all their fucking money.
Oh, what do you mean, yes?
Yes. And so, and then, Clarice, I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Clarice by Caetano Veloso. And he was, in the West, we like to think that punkers and hippies had balls, to sing against, democratically elected governments and, people that had rules that, and the cops came with billy clubs occasionally, but people in Brazil that were singing protest music, they risked quite a bit more, and he was certainly one of these people. And Clarice is one of the most beautiful songs I have ever heard. It's like from outer space or something. What a beautiful song. And it's on the record with it's like a weird sort of, it's his photograph, but it's all these, it's like a Garden of Eden kind of landscape drawn and illustrated sort of as a frame. And I really suggest getting that record. And then number 5, The Gift by the Velvet Underground. That's the one where John Cale kind of speaks the weird. It's almost like almost like a narration or something like that of an event. I've never gotten that into it, but I don't suppose you could really cover that song.
Okay. But will you try some of this on your next record, maybe?
Probably not.
Inspired you?
Very unlikely. Very unlikely. No, I think like most hip hop songs would be uncoverable, and I would not cover them. But it's because I love hip hop, and there are a lot of other things that I love that I would never cover. Like I would not cover a Saints song, even though I love it. I would not cover a Kinks song or a Stones song because they finished it, and to do it fast, it would just make it clownish and would dilute the power that song still has over our collective imagination, or those songs. Gimme Shelter. Yeah.
No worries.
Gimme Shelter is suddenly relevant again, is it not?
Totally is. Yeah. And I think there are some bands that are really hard to cover. For example, one of my favorites, The Cure. You can cover them, but it's really difficult to not destroy the songs.
You may weaken the song, and then all you serve to do is to dilute it, even if only slightly, in the collective consciousness. Which, if you love The Cure and love their output, why would you do that? You know, like it's and unfortunately, and I'm not going to say which songs I feel that way about, but I feel like the Gimme Gimmes have occasionally in the past made that mistake. So.
Yeah, sometimes I think you don't feel it before, but afterwards you see, okay, it was not so good, maybe.
Precisely. Yeah.
But you play any of those songs anyways on stage? Or do we say they are cut out?
Sure. No. And some of those songs have evolved as far as live. It's in our case, one of the reasons I wanted to do another live record is it's very hard to capture lightning in a bottle, so to speak. And I think that's the same with a lot of bands whom I have seen live and have this incredible energy, but are unable to capture it inside of a controlled studio environment. One of the first things anybody tells a singer, maybe especially a punk singer, is they'll say, okay, more aggression now. And then you make it more aggressive, and then they say, okay, half as much. You know, and that's a very strange thing to get into your mind, because you think this is supposed to be pure feeling, is it not? It is not. It's all of it is at least partially pantomime, because whether you can see it or not, there is a proscenium arch, like your countryman Bertolt Brecht said. Was he your countryman? Or no, he was Dutch, right? Or Flemish, maybe. Bertolt Brecht.
I don't know him.
Anyway, he was the guy. He a lot of people accredit early cinema to how he had developed plays. And if you're walking on a stage, that is a proscenium arch. Your job is to entertain at least as much as to inform. Because if you're only informing, then you're a preacher. And nobody likes a preacher. And especially with the early punk artists who didn't even use the word punk. I think that was like they hated the fact that it was being codified and named, but they had zero problem with the notion of celebrity. It was just they wanted to manipulate and change the whole notion of celebrity, but they used it to their own nefarious ends. And they, as much as anybody else, were masters of image propulsion and image projection. I think it's only recently that so-called punk bands, in a weird sort of misguided attempt to stay real, dressed only in sort of plain clothes, which, you know, that's a choice. Even a lack of style is still a stylistic choice. And there is still, even if you can't see it, a proscenium arch above you. So your job is to entertain.
Entertain and to catch the people.
Yeah,
like this.
That's right, and provoke them, and because and one of the things in a live performance by the Gimme Gimmes is that we are essentially trolls. We are essentially, especially on a festival bill, we play the heels so that everybody else can play the heroes. And it's something. It's not calculated. It's got to be something that comes from my childhood. Just desperation, just being bullied. And then when I finally get out in front of people, I can't be friends. I don't want to be friends with them. I want to troll them.
You've got just a couple minutes before you have to catch the shuttle, okay?
Nice. Thank you, Lala. And
wait a minute. Dress. Yeah.
That's Audra. She's the genius responsible for our American Schlager aesthetic. And in fact, when she first heard of Schlager culture, that was what she accredited if you could put a name on her aesthetic sense, that would be it. And that may be a little bit of John Waters too, but you know, like I would say that the Americans are the king of trash. But Germans and Italians, for example, are certainly no slouches, right?
I think they
Schlager culture. Who's the guy with he perms his hair and curls his hair, and he has the golden microphone? He's the modern Schlager hero. I forget his name. And he's got a golden microphone, and punkers love him too. German punkers love him too.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's
He'll go to a show in a gold lame jacket everything perfect, permed and curled, and then he'll leave in a Black Lips t-shirt and Converses. You know what I mean? Like it's Schlager culture. It's a beautiful contribution to world trash sensibilities, and I love trash.
People
Bless you.
having party, so it's all about having party and then catch people.
That's right. Abfall.
Yeah. Okay. I think I won't hold you back now because Aurora shouldn't be angry about us.
No,
But maybe we can another time talk again and do this a little bit deeper.
I would like that very much, Otti.
That would be cool.
Thank you.
For today, we have some free messages, some greetings to the people outside. Say hello, say goodbye or something.
Yeah, we are Me First in the Gimme Gimmes, and we're available for weddings, communions, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, estate sales, autopsies, funerals. So give us a call, please.
Nothing more to say, so bye, cheers,
Cheers.
thank you.
Bye.